Hello everyone, Attack Power here with Game 1 between Jimster Hacks and Mr. Ghosty in the September monthly tournament. Let's dive right in here to Slutsk East, and on the left in the red we have Jimster Hacks playing first Pancerna on Maverick Income. And on the right in the blue we have Mr. Ghosty playing PZGren Grossdeutschland on Maverick Income. So diving into the decks here, remember September monthly tournament, armored only divisions here. So Jimster on first Pancerna, Recon tab, I mean, it's basically mostly armor stuff, right? Stewart's, Cromwell's, you get a couple, he's got a couple two-man teams. That's basically it. There's really not much here to talk about. Your infantry tab, extremely lacking in this division. Only 6 slots in total. You basically have really crappy Streltsy, Sappersy are fine, and then you get the very solid Ingeniersy, which are good flamer units to work with. But that's about all you got to work with. There's not much more. Couple of half tracks, but no, it's not like full-on half track spam like second Blinde or third U.S. Armor where it's like tons of them, but they are there. The tank tab, obviously the highlight of the division. You have Stewarts, you have Cromwells, you have Cromwell 7s, which are much better Cromwells. You have Fireflies, which you get 2 cards of here, and Sherman. So it's basically all the highlights of the allied armor, Western allied armor. You really kind of have a spattering of it all. The Fireflies, of course, helping out immensely to actually allow you to wrestle with German armor at that 2K because they're, attached with that 17-pounder. Are they the most phenomenal anti-tank tanks? No, but they are very effective. And he's got at least the A phase one double vetted, so that'll definitely help. Support tab, really solid. You get some Cromwell 6s, which give you that 2K range. Vickers are meh, but other than that, it's not a very big tab. Your AT tab, it's the good old Commonwealth Division tabs. You get 6-pounders, you get 17-pounders in here. You get the Achilles as well, which is just more basically mobile 17-pounders. The AA tab, really good. You get lots of Crusaders AAs, which are just really solid mobile AA pads. You get both the Mark 2B version and the Mark II version, so lots of those coming out. The Arty tab is solid. I mean, you get Sextons, which are 25-pounders basically on wheels. They're pretty cheap and they have a massive amount of ammo, which means you can really let them fire for a long time without having to reload them. And then a really powerful off map that is gross and should never be used. And then your air tab is some Commonwealth Planes Mosquitoes, which are nice zippy medium resilience bombers, or are they very good? Maybe they're very good resilience. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but they're solid bombers. And Spitfires, which are sometimes amazing fighters and sometimes really underwhelming fighters. It kind of just depends. On the other side, Mr. Ghosty playing PZGren Grossdeutschland here. I know one of his favorite divisions and a personal favorite of mine as well. Really solid all-around division here. Your recon tab, actually pretty fantastic with the Aufklärer Panzer 38Ts. Nice little autocannon units that can do some really good damage, and you get 2 cards of them, so you get lots of that stuff. Your infantry tab, abnormal for a panzer division. You get the Sturmgruppe, which are nice MP44 like mid-range units that give you a little bit more flexibility. They're not like phenomenal CQC, but it does give you more options than most panzer divisions. Your tank tab, pretty solid. Stug 3s, Panzer 4s. The big issue with this tank tab is you're actually lacking in medium tanks. You only get 1 card of each of those. The rest of it's Tigers and Panthers. Your support tab is actually phenomenal. You get Stu 42s, you get Guerrillas, you get the SDKZ 2519D, which are just phenomenal, like super cheap half tracks that can wipe stuff out. Your AT tab is basically just Pack 40s and Martyr 3. Like, that's it. AA tab, not huge, but you do get really good stuff. SDKZ 71, Mobile Wagon, Flak 43. Arty tab, pretty solid as well. You get Hummels, you get 81mm mortars, you could get SK-18s if you wanted it. Air tab, big issue of the division. You get no planes, basically. You just get some Focke-Wulfs, A6s, which aren't even that good, and then you get some OK bombers, Focke-Wulfs. But let's dive in here. We are off. One of the big issues with PZGren Grossdeutschland is kind of a difficulty in efficiency of price, which is a lot of times the issue with a lot of these Panzer divisions. A lot of stuff is just kind of expensive. Cromwell 6 in early, though. These things, of course, super zippy, as all Cromwells are there. We see that SDKZ 251/9D. Doesn't look like anything super aggressive here out of Ghosty. Also doesn't look... Well, there's a lot of armor here on the hill from Jimster Hacks, so sending an interesting assault there. The Cromwell 6 is going after that Flammer. If we can kill it, he can then target down that MG42, and there's really... It's kind of weird. 2 armor divisions barely deploying down south. Kind of funny. Kind of funny, honestly. So Grill up north here. Stug 3 and a mobile wagon coming in here. Although this Cromwell blob is going to be a big issue. A whole bunch of Stewarts as well. So we have 4 Cromwells and 3 Stewarts here. That's a massive investment from Jimster Hacks. And he still has plenty of points to get at a Cromwell 6 and an Achilles over here. That's kind of the power of first Pancerna. Same with like CIABG. These Cromwells are extremely cheap and allow you to just deploy a gajillion of them. And truthfully, Stugs are not a great response because the Cromwells can kill the Stugs okay amount of the time, honestly. They're 90 millimeters of penetration, just enough to consistently penetrate that Stug. So the Achilles appear to take out the SDK of Zed. It really wasn't able to help, but the infantry here did die, and the Flammer are now capturing this flag, bringing us to a 13-11. A lot of veterancy going on here. Really nice play from Jimster. This dude is a very aggressive player. I actually just played him today, and he absolutely just destroyed me. I mean, the division matchup was kind of rough. It was like he was just a really fast French division, and I was a very slow mechanized division, and he just kind of ran me over with M8s. It was really the most uninteresting thing that's ever happened. I surrendered after 2 minutes because my Panther somehow got critted by an M8. Not sure how that was possible, but it happened. But yeah, we can see here that really aggressive play. Reminded me a little bit of Stan the Man. So, Ghosty now turning off the APCR, but a little late. Looks like he's going to lose that Pack 40 pretty quick here. Stug 3 suffering from hill depression problems, total bullcrap. But we know that. Same story, different day. Please, God, Eugen, get rid of this bullshit. Cromwell 5 does get the penetration on the second shot. Stug 3 cannot get the second shot on. BMW goes down, probably with a Panzerschreck. Didn't even see what it was, but I'm going to assume that was a Panzerschreck. Stug bounces, somehow suffering again from hill depression, and hill depression claims another victim. Definitely a shame to see. Not because he lost it, but just because the only reason that happened was basically because of the hill depression. He would have taken out at least one of these Cromwells otherwise. So now the mobile wagon's going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's moving that up right next to the hill to try to decrease the amount of visibility. Another Stug 3 coming in here. He's got to be careful. He's only got 3 of those. Like I said, one of the problems with Panzer Grossdeutschland is a lack of medium tanks. You're actually really kind of shoehorned into a lot of heavy tanks. But just like Ghosty, I actually do enjoy this division. I think the infantry are really good. You get a nice, like, chunky infantry tab. You do get a good mix of armor. You get a ton of support options. Really good AA. I mean, obviously the Air Force is terrible. But you also then get the Panzer 38Ts to help you with some close-range stuff. It's really nice overall. I'm not saying it's a great division, but it is solid. Sturmgruppenführer doesn't get in. Is it a 25-point? Yeah, 25-point leader for 2 men. I'm not a big fan of this unit. I mean, I think you get 4, though. Yeah, you do get 4, which is why you would take it. Mobile wagon desperately trying to stay out of line of sight. 2 Stugs coming in. Didn't see the second one here. Will he save the day? He's going to take out 1 Cromwell. PZGren going to get surrendered here. Second one goes down. Okay, so 2 Cromwells down there. Ghosty getting a nice little trade back there. Jimster's aggression really paying off here. Pushing Ghosty off this hill already is pretty huge, but he needs something here to really, like, secure it. And Achilles coming in. Kind of thought maybe we'd see a 17-pounder. No, there is no 17-pounders in A. That would be why. Gudila taking pot shots at that Stuart. So half-track went down as well. Jimster's got to be careful. He did a really good job with his early aggression, but now Mr. Ghosty is starting to trade up a little bit better here. Several Cromwells going down, and this is not where you want the Cromwells to be, is at this range fight here. The Stug 3s will absolutely dominate at this range, and this is where you need, like, your 17-pounders and stuff to get in so that you can set up the AT and really kind of deny this from happening. Because in an actual slugfest, like a one-on-one slugfest, the Stug 3 wins, especially at range. Really, you have to use your numbers to win. Now, we see a commander coming here, a Cromwell 7 commander and a Firefly. So we see 2 2K options coming out here. So that'll definitely be dangerous. But the Stug 3s are already well within 2K. So the problem is these will not be able to use their range advantage at all. And may end up just trading with the Stug 3s. I forget what the fire speed on these is, but the Firefly is double vetted. So that's fire relatively fast. It's probably about 8 rounds a minute. The Achilles unvetted, though. Still firing 8 rounds a minute, though. That's interesting. Why? It's the same gun, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I guess just because the Achilles is open top, it gets that. I'm assuming because it's open top, it gets that that fire rate increase there. Stug is 10 rounds a minute. Yeah, it's 10 rounds a minute with the double vet. So, the Stugs are firing faster. And with the double vet, obviously better accuracy. This Achilles will probably miss its first 2 shots at any significant range. SDKZ's 251 coming in. Again, these are really good against killing infantry. They do 2 damage a hit. If it could land a hit, it would do 2 damage a hit. That's fine. I love when the game makes me look like an idiot every time. And they're not the most accurate thing. It's an SPW 233 gun. So if you know the effectiveness of the SPW 233, this is the same idea. It's just slapped onto a half track. Oh, a little mistake here from Mr. Ghosty. Wow, don't see that often. That was a big oopsie. Just lost a Pack 40 for nothing. We do see a Tiger in now. Let's see who wins this one. Tiger versus Achilles. This could really go either way, honestly. Achilles unvetted, though. Does not help at all. Tiger does have a bit. And gets a turret stuck on that Achilles. The Achilles will, of course, keep firing because its turret stuck in this position. Nope, not moved. So Tiger probably winning that one out. Okay, alrighty. Go Tiger. I feel like Tiger often loses those kinds of fights. That's why they're not, like, the strongest of units. Tiger spotting that Cromwell 5, though, using its 2K range to do the job. If you can take that out, it really kind of opens up this hill. Might let the Stug or the Stew push back over the hill there. Tiger going to miss a couple. And this is the big issue with the Tigers. The slow fire rate. When it misses these shots like this, it really sucks. You can feel the difference between fire rates between the Tiger and its cat brethren like the Panther and, I mean, the Panzer and the Stug are not cat brethren, but you get what I mean. The Tiger is notably slower firing than all the other German armor. But Jimster Hack's still on a 14-10 right now. Only 2 minutes left here before both players get full access to their income. Again, really shocked to see neither player really playing the South here. Jimster's been winning basically because he's got this 2K range advantage with these 2 units. And Mr. Ghosty has been forced to put all his resources into this area here instead. Again, from that fantastic start here from Jimster. So Stuart misses his first shot on the Stug 3. It's probably going to die now. Goodbye, Stuart. Another piece of armor cleaned up here. Sexton coming in now. Jimster trying to basically secure his foothold here. I feel like all of these have been Cromwell 5s now that I think about it. I don't think we've seen any Cromwell 7s, really. Cromwell 7, of course, being far more effective because of its massive armor. Still for a dirt cheap price. I'm trying to think. I think the Cromwell 7 is the highest armor rating for that price point. I can't think of any other tank with 120 millimeters of armor being anywhere close to 65 points. The Tiger has 125 millimeters of armor and costs literally double that. Obviously, the gun is much better, but Panther has 100. Panther D has 120. Is the same armor value. Of course, I'm comparing apples and oranges here, but like. A Stug is 80 points, has only 90 millimeters of armor. Better gun, obviously, but I still think Cromwell 7s are pretty cheap for what they give you. Commander in a nice spot here, given all this triple vet leadership. We do see a mortar coming in now. Not sure what that's going for down south. Just the machine guns, I guess? I mean, you can kill the Achilles with it, but you definitely need some radio. No doubt about that. I mean, actually, maybe it is going... Oh, excuse me. It is very late. Maybe actually setting it up here to bombard this area, because you really can't put it here. I mean, this is very dangerous. If it moves even like a little bit in the wrong direction, you get killed from the hill. Saperzi and Half Track once again. Mobile Wagon going to get involved here. Go, Mobile Wagon, go. You're mobiling it up. Blast, blast. You are doomed. Sexton up nice and close here. Takes a pot shot and moves immediately. Not sure if he just found another target. We do see more Sextons? Oh, no, that's the Cromwell 6. Is he ground attacking? I'm assuming he's ground attacking. Yep. Nice little play there. He knows there's an infantry unit here. Use your 2K unit. Just bombard a bit. And now the Flammenwerfer is going to get spotted by the recon. And now it's really on the run. That flag should be flipped soon, which will help Jimster get back to a 14-10. Maybe a 15-9 if he can force these PZGrens off of the hill. Aufklären a nice spot here for the spotting. PZGren down. The other thing PZGren Grossdeutschland gets is better Pioneers. Their Pioneers come with MG42s. at no increase in price, which is really nice. Uh-oh. Cromwell 5 on the 251. Ah, he got a shot off, and he kills it. Whoa, what a trade. Oh, that's done dirty. That poor Cromwell 5. This is why these SDKs are phenomenal. 25 points, you just took out a tank with that. I actually usually don't vet them because the vet curve sucks. It's 8-4-2 or something like that. So I want 4. I mean, I want 8 of them. Yeah, and he does have it unvetted. Because getting 8 of these is so good. You can, like, fill the whole map with them at the beginning. It's basically how... I mean, you don't have the advantage of the SPW-233 being fast, but you have that weapon, and the weapon is really good. So the mortar is aiming for the Firefly here. It's going to push the Firefly forward, allows the Tiger to get a shot off, but there's another Firefly there. Uh-oh. So the Tiger getting double-teamed. Turret stuck, though. Stug is involved. Penetration on the Tiger. Tiger changes targets. Firefly goes down. Other Firefly gets shot off. Takes out the Tiger. Nice kill there. But here comes a Panther. Immediately in for replacement. And a second Panther coming in as well. And a Tiger. My God, did Mr. Ghost just not buy anything for like 3 ticks? Goodness gracious. Yeah, you must not have. At least 3 ticks, because you would get 340 points between 2 ticks. He would need at least 3. Good Lord. He's sitting on some points. Mortar going for... Was it going for the Firefly? I guess it was. We see 2 mortars in now. 2 sextons. We see... Here comes the off-map. Odd choice, actually. Is he going for the town? Why would he call this in? There's honestly not like a severe concentration of troops that I'm like calling off-map in on this. I'm never like calling off-map in. But I mean, like, if I was ever going to be an off-map guy... Like, it makes sense for Ghosty. Like, if he had off-map right here, right? You drop it, boom, there you go. Back on the hill. But for Jimster, who's already got the hill, you know, usually you drop an off-map, you know, blue has, like, a foothold here, usually, when it's going well. Achilles goes down, though. Cromwell goes down, though. Ooh, a lot of bad trades here all of a sudden for Jimster. Jimster appears to have a ton of skill in the aggression department. But you can see the difference in skill with the trades here. As Ghosty slowly peels back these tanks and stuff, taking very few losses of his own. Really just that Tiger was his only loss recently. If you really think about it. A couple infantry here as he fights around. Mortar getting off on the Sappersy here. Sexton's going for the Pack 40 here. Nice choice. Mosquito gets forced off by the mobile wagon. Cromwell 5's pushing around the hill here. Nice place from Jimster to try to avoid finding the 2K units over here, as well as avoiding any sort of depression issues. 3 Cromwells versus Stug 3 at range, though. Stug 3 takes out 1. Cromwell's now in charge. They are triple-star Cromwells. I mean, they're the best Cromwells can be. But they can't, and this is the thing, they can't penetrate the Stug at range. They can, and they just did, but it's a struggle. He just lost 2 Cromwells and still didn't kill this Stug. At close range, it's an absurdly good trade for the Cromwell. At longer range, of course, they're going to struggle mightily to actually succeed in that trade, as we just witnessed there. So the off-map is coming down in the town. This is the only place I could really think of why you would call this in. I mean, I get his thought process. He thinks there's a bunch here, but there's really not. We can see here with God Vision that there's obviously very little. And that the off-map was really kind of a waste to spend that many points. 17-pounder really struggling to find some hits here. Cromwell 6 taking a big hit. Killing that's pretty huge. Panther goes down to the 17-pounder. Hard to ask for more. Firefly spotting the Tiger. Will it make up for its earlier failure? It misses. 17-pounder getting pinned down here. I feel like this thing always has a higher fire rate, but it really doesn't. 17-pounder on the run, off-map coming down. Firefly can knock it on Tiger, and neither can the Tiger, and both walk away unscathed. Off-map coming in. Anything following up? No, like literally nothing. So I'm not sure what the point of calling this in is. Honestly, guys, if you're going to use off-map, like, follow it up. That's really what it's meant for. I think people really misunderstand using this a lot of times. Like, they call it in thinking it's going to kill stuff. And yeah, it does. It almost always kills a leader for some reason. I don't know why. But it does. That's not what it's for. It doesn't kill things. It really doesn't. We see some big arty now. Hummelsen in the back with the Batterifear. So Mr. Ghosty subscribing to the new super, like, low spread dispersion. That's the word I'm looking for. The Hummel's getting that buff. That little buff can make a pretty big difference, though. Sexton's going for the mobile wagon, which has not moved. Martyr 3 finding the Sappersy there. Interesting. It really looks like they see each other. Martyr 3 has okay optics, so I'm surprised it didn't see that sooner. APCR gets a gun jam. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Firefly goes down to the Artie of the Hummels. Off map goes all. Alfclair goes down. Leader goes down, like I said. But, like, this is... I mean, the point is to follow it up. He's not following it up. So, like, this is just... Okay, you bombed it. My guys are still here. Like, you're not gaining anything from that. Like, that's a misuse of this off-map. And I hate to even comment on how to use off-map well, but that's what you should be doing if you're going to use it. And Jimster definitely missing out on an opportunity here. He knows there's not much here. So the fact that he hasn't pushed harder to, like, open this up and kill this and probably capture this flag here is probably a pretty big mistake. Of course, both players getting sucked in. Now, this makes more sense. Like, you want to capture this flag, drop the off-map. He should have just done this twice, and he'd probably have this flag already. Jimster's getting a nice little lead here. The problem is I think he's getting that lead by trading poorly. Sexton takes a big hit from the Hummel here. And Mortar looking for it too. So Mr. Ghosty's gotten tired of these Sextons. This is a tough counter battery though. Sextons, of course, being able to move. They are open top though, so they take a pretty good bit of damage from Artie. Mr. Ghosty, unfortunately for him, driving right into this oncoming off map. He doesn't know that, of course. Stu-42, Stug-3, crest the hill. And the presence of the Stu-42 should really help, but he is on the run now. Successfully bouncing Cromwell and 6-pounder shells because they couldn't spot. They had no way of spotting the 6-pounder, which was doing tons of damage. Off-map going. And flag capture. Jimster sticking to his 13-11 despite losing this flag now. Things not actually looking hot here for Jimster. He's under a lot of pressure all of a sudden. All that's left here is basically tanks. There's one Streltsy Piat. I'm actually surprised he's spotting these infantry at all. Yeah, optics are very low. How is he spotting these infantry? I know they're out in the open, but tanks usually are like absolutely blind. Does the leader have better optics? Yeah, they're not very low. They're low. So that's probably what's probably the leader tank here. Do all Shermans have better optics? No, I don't think so. I think just that leader. Do leaders just get better optics? I honestly don't know. Leader. Optics high. Optics good. Interesting. I did not know that. Huh, leaders have higher optics. Fun fact for y'all. I'm sure you all know it. The internet's always smarter than me. Already coming down in these tanks now. Panther Tiger under attack from 2 Fireflies. Soon to be 3. Oh, I think the Fireflies win this. That's a lot of Fireflies. The big cat's bouncing though. Gets a gun jam on 1 Firefly. Are the kitties gonna turn this around? Panther takes a penetration. Down the Panther goes. Firefly goes down, but unfortunately it was the gun jam Firefly, so it doesn't even matter. It was already out of action. Now the Tiger's on the run. The Tiger just sneaks out of line of sight. Cromwell 6 still throwing shells at it. Already takes out another tank, I think. And Jimster's still unable to get at this thing. And we're now into phase C. Mr. Ghosty down a fair number of points here, but I think he's definitely traded better. Like, just, well... I mean, the units in Grossdeutschland are more expensive than the units in First Pancerna. So, if they're equal in number of troops, the troops that are out for Grossdeutschland are higher quality troops, generally speaking. Already flying back and forth. A lot more heavier artillery here. Looks like a little bit of counter battery going on from Jimster, actually. He's now got 3 Sextons going for the Stu-42. How does he see that? The Vickers? No. I'm honestly not sure. How does he even know that specifically there? 17 pounder going after a Tiger Stu push here. This one's that just came out. Stu 42 can now ground attack in front of the 17 pounder. Achilles is going to be a bit of an issue though. Vickers being forced off. Another Panther coming in. So Mr. Ghosty sitting on some points once again before C-Phase here. Jins are back on the 13 level with the capture of the hill. Already looking for that 6 pounder. Stu 42 forced to fall back. Panther in. Aufklär Panzer 38T. Some infantry finally here. Mr. Ghosty trying to expand the fight. Pack 40 back on the hill. Takes out the Cromwell 7. Shook 3 goes down though. Looking for the Sherman. I don't think it's going to get there. There's a lot of line of sight problems here. Engineersy in the woods. Fighting at long range. Obviously not what they're ideally for. Counter battery going for the Hummel again. Ooh, this is going to be dangerous. Down. Wow. 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 Sexton's on fire over here. Taking out one of those 150s. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's some unfortunate RNG there for Mr. Ghosty. Volkwolf A6 out. This thing is actually a great strafer. So there is no AA here. And look how much damage it did that 17 pounder on a single pass. It's going to let the Panther, Stu, and Tiger push back forward. Is there? Oh, there's a Crusader A. It goes down. Oh, the Pack 40 picks that up. Ooh, that hurts. Volkwolf is taking some suppression. 50 cal. Were 50 cals buffed? Smart people, tell me. I didn't see anywhere in the notes about 50 cals getting buffed. Did the M17 buff somehow like affect these 50 cals? Because I feel like 50 cals are suppressing way more than they used to. Like an obnoxious amount more. 17 pounder goes down to the Focke-Wulf. That's a huge kill for that plane. All of a sudden, it's basically infantry trying to hold off hordes of infantry. Five Sextons. Okay, this is getting a little much now. I mean, he's using it. I'm not saying he's not using it, but I feel like you might want to focus on some more frontline troops. Although, I mean, Jimster might have already ripped through a fair bit of his infantry. I'm not even sure. We haven't seen a ton of infantry out of him, so maybe not, but Achilles gonna lose here. There's too many big cats going on here. The 2v1 is pretty awful. Stu 42 takes out the Vickers. Achilles takes a hit. Achilles goes down. There's a second Achilles. Does get the penetration on the Panther. But 2v1 is one of the worst things you could possibly have in this game. Stu 42, though, pushing forward, too far forward now. It's going to get hit by the Achilles first. This is definitely an issue. Mr. Ghosty has not noticed. Already flying back and forth everywhere. Hummel reposition. Mortars not really repositioning. You better be careful. Sextons can easily target those down. We just saw how successful that counter battery was before. Jimster on the run now. Hoping to get lucky with an on-the-move shot. Gets a shooter killed on the Achilles, though, instead. Mr. Ghosty capturing a flag here. Mosquito does get through. Bombing strike. Takes out the Panther. One big tank down. Already coming after the mortar. Like I said, he hasn't been moving them. Mr. Ghosty a little slow on his micro here with the support weapons. Tons of Sturmgruppe and stuff, but they can't get on the hill, but it is 13-11. Pack 40 and Tiger in position. Firefly takes a penetration. Pack 40 does actually struggle to pen the Sherman Fireflies at that range. Tiger, though, on the other hand, not so much. So another Firefly down. That's pretty bad. He's lost several, and he only has 6. So there's probably only... This might be it. Like, this might be the only Firefly left. Achilles goes down as well, and there's only 6 of those, too, and we've seen several of those die. So I'd actually say Jimster's probably running out of 2K AT. Ooh, a Sexton goes down. What a pickup. There's another Firefly on the hill there, which just supports my theory that there's not many Fireflies left. Or there's not many 2K anything left at this point. Ooh, Firefly does get the penetration there on the Tiger. Tiger fires again. Gets a pen on the Firefly. Will it bounce? It does. There it is. That's the Tiger's opportunity. Gets a second shot off. It is double start. And the Firefly goes down. SDK of Zed pushing forward to capture another flag. Now it's 15-9, Mr. Ghosty. Things suddenly crumbling here for Jimster. These trades are finally catching up to him. SDKZ 251 goes down to the Sherman. Firefly goes down to the Tiger, and that's devastating. There's No more long-range armor here. Now the Tiger can completely dominate the edge of this hill. SDK that does go down to the 17-pounder hiding out there. Cromwell, 6 takes a hit. It's going to try to return fire. Does just get out in time. Its shot goes wide. Mortar's still working. Mr. Ghosty finally starting to move his mortars a bit. Hummel going... I think it was going after the Firefly that was there. I mean, Jimster doesn't actually have that much stuff on the map. If we really look, down south, there's barely anything. The 17-pounder's like his only hope. Can it take out this Pack 40? That'd be a nice kill. Another nice kill there. We've seen several Pack 40s go down in transports. PZGren does unload in time. Saves himself. Obviously, the Pack 40 a little bit more valuable. Mr. Ghosty all the way back down to a 13-11. Unfortunately for Jimster, he really never took advantage. I mean, he did this off map. He could have just pushed forward and really captured a lot of ground, but never did. I mean, he obviously doesn't have God vision, but he threw down the off map, which to me is like, would have been indicative to he's going to make a push, and he never did. Like, he had the right idea, and then he just never followed up on it. Dragoni go down in the half track, never get out. They a little bit survives, of course, because the half track has higher health, which means the units inside don't die. Vickers helps finish off the Pack 40, but that took out a tank. Probably a Cromwell, or I think it was Sherman, actually. Zoom, 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 zoom. No, it definitely wasn't that tank. It was a Cromwell. It's just a armored graveyard here. Sturm Pioneers in, going after the Engineers. 2-on-1 though. That does it, guys. 2-on-1's the key. 13-11, but I just think Mr. Ghosty's trades have been significantly better. Now it's coming to the issue where there's not many 2K responses left for these big tanks. Focke-Wulf coming in for that 17-pounder, and that's one of the only responses left. Look how much damage that did. Yeah, the Focke-Wulf A6 still a great strafer. Not as good of a plane as its cousin, the Focke-Wulf A8, but when it comes to actually dishing out damage, it's still quite good. And Mr. Ghosty finally back on the flag on the hill. Cromwell 6 goes down to the Tiger. Another Achilles is in. Just unfortunately for Jimster, happened to drive into the oncoming mortars. Misses its first shot. Oof. Misses its second shot. Focke-Wulf coming in for the strafing run. Does actually do a lot of suppression. Does finally land the third shot. Both fire again. Achilles goes down, and Tiger survives once again. Cromwell 5 going down south. Tiger E really not defeatable by these units. And this can definitely be the issue for first Pancerna. Yeah, and Jimster throws in the towel, seeing the writing on the wall. I'd have to agree. That game was basically over for him. 29 minutes, 37 seconds. Great game to both players. 2,900 to 2,155. I mean, huge difference in trades. We could see that happening actively. Jimster, super aggressive, and that really paid off at the beginning, but then he really wasn't able to outplay Ghosty in the trade department, and that just, I mean, that loses you the game. There's no question about it. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and consider supporting over on Patreon. It really helps the channel out, and consider following me over on Instagram. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic day.